Shake Table Lab by Mikyla Fidel and Jacqueline Shu. My partner and I first decided to build the first level by adding a base to make the first floor more stable. As you can see, the straws are covered with several pieces of tape. We then decided to start the second story. We taped the crossbars together so that the first story couldn't collapse as easily. We decided to add crossbars because they would most likely make our building sturdier. We then decided to take the bottom base out, because we thought that the base would not help the building at all. We are adding cross braces to the second floor to strengthen our second level. For the second floor, we used more construction paper and tape rather than straws like the first floor, because we thought it would support the building even more. When we finished our building, we added some of the leftover materials that we didn't use. The second floor looks thicker compared to the picture in construction 4, that because we added more tape and construction paper to make it sturdier. Our second story was 25.5 centimeters tall. The first story was 18 centimeters tall. Our story was a total of 43.5 centimeters. When we finished our building, we decided to test out how strong it was. We placed weight on both stories using sandbags and our hands to test how strong both floors were. At the beginning, the weakest point of our building was the first floor. Therefore, we needed to add more material. We ended up adding more tape and construction paper so that the first floor would be harder to break. The weakest part of our building was the second floor, because some of the connecting straws were not taped together, causing our second floor to be less sturdy than the first floor. The fact that we had a limited amount of resources for the second floor, because we used so much material on our first floor, did not help at all. That is why we added so much construction paper onto the second floor. Because we added the most amount of tape, construction paper, and straws onto the first floor, it was the sturdiest. When we put the building onto the shake table, the first floor ended up holding the most amount of sandbags because it was stronger than the second floor. The other strongest area was the crossbars. The crossbars definitely made both floors sturdier. As you can see, there is string on the first and second floor. We added string there so that the straws put together would be tight, straight, and aligned so that when we put it on the shake table, it would be harder to damage. The areas with the most amount of tape are the base, second floor, and the bottom of the first floor. We also added some tape to connect some straws together. If we had 5 extra straws, we would add them to the straws on the first floor supporting the whole building. This would make our building twice as strong and could hold more weight. With the 1 straw remaining, we would use it for the second floor, to make our second floor more capable of supporting more weight.
Three, 2, 1, go.
He used his elbow.
I can't watch.
Somebody tell me what. No, Mikyla, it's solid. Nothing's happening.
You guys, it's fine. It's so Mikyla, it's so hallelujah.
That's the best part.
Are you ready?
Yeah. Paparazzi over
5,
here.
1, go.
3, 2, 5.
That's
really sturdy. Oh, for real? Cool.
Oh my god, that is really sturdy. How many sandbags did your building support?
On the first floor, our building held 6, and on our second level, it held 4.
Where did your building fail?
Well, points where it failed were where we connected 2 straws and forgot to put tape on the first floor. So you can see right here that this part's a little cracked because we forgot to put tape there. And also this part, and well, we supported that, so we're all good.
If you were going to build it over, what would you change?
I would change the fact that we need more tape for the points of where they completely just cracked. But otherwise, I think we did pretty well, and I wouldn't change anything else.
What did you learn about building strong earthquake-proof buildings?
I learned that you need a lot of foundation, and you need a strong base to keep it up, and you need a very strong second level, or else your weight will collapse and fall.
Okay. What did you like about the building project lab?
Oh, I liked being able to work with my partner Jacqueline. Okay, but not just that. I thought it was actually pretty interesting learning how to have straws hold weight, because at first I thought we were going to completely fail, and there was no way we'd actually hold 2 sandbags on each one while it shook. But I think we did pretty well, right, Jacqueline?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, see?
Mm-hmm.
How many sandbags did your building support?
So our building held 6 sandbags on the first floor and then 4 sandbags on the second floor, so that means that a total of 10 sandbags.
Where did our building fail?
Okay, so if you look on the first floor, you see how these 2 straws bend. Well, that's because we didn't add any tape, and we connected 2 straws together, but we didn't use any tape to support them, so that's when our building collapsed with all the weight.
If you were going to build it over, what would you change?
I would probably change the fact that we didn't have to use so much straws on the first floor, because that made our second floor weaker, and I think that's where our building collapsed also, where we didn't use enough straws or building materials on the second floor because we used most of it on the first floor.
What did you learn about building strong, earthquake-proof buildings?
Well, if you compare our buildings that we built to the buildings the buildings that earthquakes damaged, they're kind of similar. So I got to learn a lot about different structures and stuff like that.
What did you like about the building project lab?
Well, okay, so building this was fun, but like kind of educational at the same time. I got to learn a lot about different weaknesses and where I needed to strengthen some stuff, and what it felt like to build buildings.
And you had an awesome partner, am I right? Or am I right?
Sure. Okay.
That's a wrap.
The z-axis, which is blue, represents up and down motion. The y-axis, which is yellow, represents side-to-side motion. And the x-axis, which is green, represents forward and back motion.